Well, hello! My name is SquareBait2004 and I play World of Tanks. And fuck me, I forgot the name of the map. Well, okay, let's start with the tank then. The tank is the famous T-54 Russian Tier 9 medium tank. And the reason I'm driving that is pretty simple. There will be a new Russian medium line that's coming to the game as of next patch, which would be patch 8.8 or 0.8.8. And yeah, I thought, I remember the T-54 to be a very nice tank. I remembered uh, playing it with pleasure, and so I thought, it's like I jump in it and try to grind some XP up front, so the XP grind, when everyone is grinding, is not so much for me. I would even consider to throw in some gold to cut the grind short, but um, let's see and wait about that, as I'm not too sure about that. So that's the reason why I'm driving the tank. I am going down. Ah, wait, hold on. The map name, Sacred Valley. Sacred fucking Valley is the name of the map. But the reason I'm going down this way is this is probably the second or the third time I'm playing that map, and I'm still figuring out the routes on the map, and where to go, and all the rest of that. So this time I went that way, and yeah, this is basically why I'm here, and this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I think we need to wait and see how it pans out for me. Um, to touch briefly on something, it's been a while since I last posted a video, and since then I have um, changed my gaming style a bit. I was always more focused on, um, you know, I was putting more focus on helping the team by tracking enemies, by trying to divert the enemy fire on me if I see that a teammate is in trouble, and all the rest of it. But I have put a little bit more extra effort in getting used to study the map a little bit more detailed, so I can quickly uh, dish out one or two shots on an enemy tank. So collecting collecting um, damage output is my main game now. So I'm not really focused on kills. I'm not really focused on anything else but collecting damage. And as well as if I'm in light tanks, or usually on more open spaced maps, I'm with medium tanks even go for the spotting bonus, and which is pretty efficient. I mean, we're all after XP. That's what is making the grind um, a little bit more. How can I say that? Convenient, and yeah, that's why I'm trying to maximize my XP output. And yeah, by doing so, I've learned that this is a very efficient way to get forward. Don't give a shit on kills and solo freaking Rambo actions, but more so on team-oriented gameplay. So, well, tracking comes to mind. If you track a tank and that tank, while tracked from you, receives damage, you get a good bonus. And if you consistently look out for opportunities to either dish damage or I don't know, is that what we say? Dish out damage, dish damage? I don't know. Well, cause damage to enemy tanks, track them, and hope that your allies will cause some damage on that tracked vehicle, or
spot enemy vehicles and hope that the vehicles that you've just spotted receive damage from your allies. That is, this is what I'm focusing on. Well, and in mediums, of course, flanking is that's another thing that you should really do in medium tanks. As you can see me doing here. I mean, I took a shot and then immediately turned over to flank the guy. So that is really what you should do with medium tanks. Yeah. So the, the guys of you who are following me for quite a while know that I'm not the person who's after numbers and reads up numbers and studies that stuff. I'm more the guy who, can give you a view on how tanks feel and play out and how they feel now compared to a little bit earlier in the game's history. So I'd like to say that the T-54 has a little bit lost its momentum, and please don't take this as a complaint. I'm just saying it's, since the tier 10 tanks were patched in, they it lacks a little bit punch. I mean, it does not really lack punch on its gun compared to the early days, but it doesn't feel as efficient as it probably once was, because I have the feeling that with the patching the tier 10 mediums in, the efficiency of that thing got lost, because with the rebalancing after the tier 10s came into the game, tier 9 guns weren't on, especially on the mediums, that's my feeling at least, weren't as efficient as they used to be. So I mean, it still has the potential to annoy tier 9 heavy tanks or even tier 10 heavy tanks, as you will see in a little bit, but it's like, nah, it's not that what it was. And again, it's not a complaint, it's just an observation. I mean, I still believe the T-54 is a relatively bouncy, if not one of the most bounciest tanks, but the armor is still awesome, and its maneuverability is still awesome, and I still like the tank. And I mean, what's that, 4 shots in a row I bounced there? That is pretty awesome, isn't it? So no complaints, but just an observation. The Type 59 is another example of the same, along the same lines. Um, it was a pretty awesome tank, and then, more and more high-tier tanks got patched into the game, armor rebalancing and gun rebalancing took place, and the Type 59 also lost its momentum, as I like to say. So, but other than that, I mean, if the new tier 10 tank from the Russians plays a little bit like this one, or I mean, I've seen videos from other YouTube content generators that who generate World of Tanks content, who have tested the new tier 10 Russian tank, and they said it's pretty much the same tank than the T62/A, and not slash A's. Is it T62 or T62A? I don't know. Can't remember from top of my head. Well, if that plays any similar, I mean, that will be a quite enjoyable tank, as the T62 is a very, very nice tank to play, at least in my books. So we need to hope for that, and I could imagine that I come up with a video of that tank as soon as I have one, as I'm getting back, or more and more back into the medium tanks. In the last couple of weeks, I really was focused on heavy tanks, and even on tank destroyers, and barely touched any medium tanks. But now I started to play this sucker again, and I really do enjoy it again. So let's see. So here's an example of why I'm saying, it's still effective. It's still an effective gun. I mean, we all know that the E75 is a tough nut to crack, but I mean, that comes down to a combination gun and maneuverability of the T-54. But still, the E-75 is a tough nut to crack, so it does a job well. I think there's no complaints in that department. Yeah, I've attached the screen prints of the results for you guys. They are shown in a little bit as this game winds down. Yeah, where have I been? Just very briefly. In all honesty, I just was fed up with producing videos, to be honest. I was more concerned about other things, things in my life happened, but this is not the real main reason. I just was fed up with producing videos, and now I thought, it's like, oh, I'm in the mood to do that video, although I'm struggling with my video editor, but oh well. Um, yeah, I have recorded quite a few videos now. I still have many old videos on stock, so let's see where it takes us. And you hit the like button, you know the game. If you like the content, hit it. And I also invite you to follow me on my channel. And I see you later, guys. Bye bye.